Welcome into Sports Memos Betting Podcast. NFL, every game on the board. We got the back half of the games here, starting with 463, 464, Buffalo, Miami, with our next guest up, Minty Bets. Minty, welcome into the pod. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, Minty. Interested to get your opinions here on the back half of the NFL card, talking Sunday's afternoon action and look ahead at the Monday nighter. And in the AFC East, we got Buffalo against Miami. And I'll tell you, Minty, Miami, the Dolphins, one of the hottest teams, ATS, against the spread. If you've been betting the Dolphins, you've been making some money. We got 40.5 being the total. 6.5 is what Buffalo's laying on the road in Miami Gardens.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, last week, the Bills were such a pain to watch, but I kept watching them. All four quarters, that was the only game I watched. My eyes were glued to the TV. It seemed like their defense really only came through when the Browns attempted to score that touchdown at the Bills' 1-yard line and failed to convert 8 times. Buffalo's offense was weak. Josh Allen was super inaccurate, completing a little over 53% of his throws for 0 touchdowns. So I'm hoping the Bills step it up this week in terms of ground game. The Dolphins are allowing an average of 146 rushing yards per game, which is 30th in the league. That's where Devin Singletary and Frank Gore come in. They can run up and down that field and win this game, but I'm not counting the Dolphins out because I certainly don't think they're amazing, but all of a sudden, these two teams met up a couple weeks ago, and the Dolphins were ahead of the Bills up until the fourth quarter. So Miami's last 2 games, they held the Jets and the Colts to a combined average of 15 points. Their only demise is turnovers. They have the third most in the league, actually. So if they can control that, then I believe in Fitzmagic. And I think he'll cover the 6.5 points because I think 6.5 is a little too much for the Bills. I don't know if I would lay it with them, and I really don't like this game, so it's a no play for me, but I'm kind of leading the Dolphins.
Yeah, Minty, I'm not looking to lay near a touchdown here with the Buffalo offense. Mm-hmm. You bring up Fitzpatrick, making magic happen on the offense, so I'm with you. I lean with the Dolphins, plus near a touchdown in Hard Rock. Next game up, we got 465, 466, Houston at Baltimore. Looks like the Ravens -4 at home, 51.5 the total, Minty.
Yes. So, Drew, I know you like the Texans +4 or 4 in the hook, wherever you're looking. I'm kind of leaning that too. The Texans are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games. They're averaging 396 yards per game. And in my opinion, Deshaun Watson is just a little bit more consistent than Lamar Jackson. It's a little difficult because I like both teams a lot. So I'm not trying to overreact to the Ravens blowing out Cincinnati and giving the Patriots their first loss of the season. Woo! But Houston has got one of the best rushing defenses, which will be great to see them go up against the league's best rushing offense. So I believe these quarterbacks can throw the ball pretty well. And I actually kind of like the over, by the way. I think you said 50. So, yeah, Texans are averaging 26 points a game and Ravens a little over 33 points a game. I might lean the over, but I don't know if I'll take this one.
Yeah, the market agreeing with you. It opened 49 and seen it as high as actually 51.5. So, some money here towards the over. And at Sports Memo odds right now, if you click on it, the odds tab, guys, you can see that percent of tickets written, 80% of the tickets on the total is on the over. And by the way, that is tickets written, guys. I know a lot of people out there like to talk about money. In my opinion, Minty, I'm not sure if you have anything on this. Percent of tickets I'm very interested in, but percent of money, I've found that sports books tend to hold on to that. So I don't know how accurate these percent of money on the side or the total is on a lot of these odds pages. Do you have any feel on that?
No, not at all, really.
Okay. It's just something I'd like to throw out there because I know a lot of people kind of talking about sports betting in the media say like, percent of tickets and percent of money. And whenever percent of money is talked about, I'm like, in my dealings with the sports books, they tend to hold on to that type
That's what I've heard too. So, yeah, no opinion, but that's interesting.
Minty, next game up, we got 467, 468, Arizona at San Francisco. We're seeing the 49ers -10. There is a 10 in the hook out there. 45 being the total in this one, Minty.
Wow, 10. I got it at 11 and a half. Okay, this will be the second time in 3 weeks these two teams are meeting, and I'm expecting the Cardinals to make the Niners sweat again. The San Francisco 49ers are a little banged up. Ronald Blair placed on IR. Matt Breida aggravated his ankle. Joe Staley fractured his finger. Emmanuel Sanders is on a day-to-day basis with his ribs, and George Kittle is still likely out. These guys will have an impact on their performance. Cliff Kingsbury has got his team to improve within each game, even if it hasn't resulted in a win. The Cardinals being 3-1 against the spread their last 4 road games is good enough for me as the better, because the Niners are 0-4 against the spread in this rivalry. I got the Cardinals at plus 11 and a half. I see now a lot of people have got that as well, and now it's down to 10, you said?
Minty, you're beating markets out here. That's a good sign.
I like the Cardinals. I think, I don't know, double digits. I just am scared from a couple weeks ago when they played against each other and I took the Niners. So I like the Cardinals here.
All right, good stuff, Minty. Yeah, it opened up 13 and a half. Minty jumped on 11 and a half. Now it's all the way down to 10. Wow. So moving the market lower. So good number there for you, Minty. Next game up, talking about the Pats earlier, New England on the road at Philadelphia. We got the Eagles catching 3 in the hook at home. 45 the total here, Minty.
Okay, so Super Bowl 52 matchup. These two teams are coming off a bye, and historically, both these teams do well after a week's worth of rest. Since 2003, Philly is 15-4 off a bye, but the Patriots are 24-4 off a bye. The Eagles have had a really slow start this season, but they're getting back on track. Their run game is strong, even though their passing game isn't that explosive. The Pats have only allowed over 14 points just once this entire season, and that was against the Ravens. So it'll be interesting to see this great Eagles offense with a great Patriots defense. I know a couple weeks ago I picked the Pats over the Ravens, and the spread was also around 3 in the hook. And I said I didn't want to bet against Belichick and Brady, and ended up being wrong. But again, I can't bet against Belichick and Brady. I mean, they can't lose twice in a row. I don't know. I'm not betting this game. I do like the under, though. The Eagles have hit the under 6 of their last 10 home games, and the Patriots 8 out of 10 away games hit the under.
All right, Minty, we got next game up, Cincinnati at Oakland Raiders. Heavy favorites here, laying doubles at home, 10.5. I'm seeing at most shops. 48.5 or 49 being the total here, Minty.
Right. I'm not expecting a lot from the Bengals. Everyone keeps saying that Miami is the worst team, but the Bengals haven't won a single game. Ryan Finley clearly didn't look ready to take Andy Dalton's spot, but I'm hearing that AJ Green might return for the Bengals, so that could be a great weapon against the Raiders. The Raiders have really improved since being back home, and I see them continuing their win streak. Josh Jacobs has been a terrific addition to the team. He's recorded 811 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns, so that's pretty impressive. They're going up against one of the worst run defenses, I should say. But this is a really big number that the Raiders are favored by. I don't like betting double digits, and I'm certainly not going to bet this game. The Bengals have only lost by 10 or more points in only half the games this season. Meanwhile, Oakland has yet to beat an opponent by more than 8 points. So who knows? This could be their first double-digit win, but I'm not taking any chances. I like the Raiders to win, but I don't love them to win by more than 10.
All right, a little too steep of a price for Minty there, 10 in the hook with the Raiders at home. We got the Sunday Nighter and the Monday Nighter up next, guys, and we got a special coupon code for this podcast, Minty20, that's MINTY 20. We'll take $20 off of anything at sportsmemo.com, just using the coupon code Minty20 at checkout for any play, any package on the board at sportsmemo.com, $20 off the retail price. Check out the website ASAP. We got 473-474 Sunday Nighter here, Minty. Chicago at the LA Rams. This is a good matchup on Sunday night. We got the Rams -6 or -6.5 at home. 40 being the total here, Minty.
Okay, so the Bears, they really only won last week because Matthew Stafford was out and the Lions defense is just playing really bad. Because we know that Mitch Trubisky isn't really a great quarterback. He's only averaging 139 passing yards per game. And although he doesn't have a whole lot of interceptions, he doesn't have a whole lot of touchdowns either. The Rams are no longer fun to watch. They were super embarrassing against Pittsburgh last week with all the turnovers, only one successful third down conversion, sacks, and they only reached the red zone once. Side note, I have Cooper Kupp in my fantasy league, and he didn't have a single catch. So I'm very angry. I'm leaning the under here at 40 or 40 and a half. The Bears are 3-6 over under the season and are allowing 17 points a game. And the Rams are also 3-6 over under. So maybe the under is something to look at. 40 is kind of low, though. So I don't know if I'd bet it, but I like it.
All right, Minty, liking the Sunday nighter, and we got the Monday nighter, Minty, going south of the border here. Ciudad de Mexico hosting Kansas City at the LA Chargers. Looks like 3.5 Kansas City laying in Stadium Azteca.
Yes.
They will be the favorites, 52 being the total in Mexico City on Monday night, Minty.
Okay, so I think the Chiefs win and cover here. Last week, the Chiefs defense was just sloppy, but they should get things back to almost normal this time around, especially with the Raiders continuously winning and climbing up those AFC West standings. I don't have entirely too much to say about the Chargers other than they need better pass protection. Phillip Rivers was sacked so many times. Their offense should run the ball a little more too, because the Chiefs have the second highest rushing yards allowed this season. So running the ball could get the Chargers where they need to be. But another thing to consider is that this Estadio Azteca in Mexico City is 7,350 feet above sea level, which is over 2,000 feet higher than Denver. So I actually placed my bet for the under already, and I got it under 53. Conditions will be tough to play in, especially towards the end of the game. And I looked at the scores, or I guess the totals from the last two games that were played there by the Raiders and Patriots and Raiders and Texans in 2016 and 2017. And it went under 50. It was at like 46 and 47. So maybe the under is something to look at here too.
Minty, that's a great point. I mean, the altitude is something, but even more the field surface. The last time, was it last year they went to play a game in Mexico City? Actually, the NFL called it off, right?
Yes. Yeah, the conditions were bad because like the soccer game was on before, and then it was like raining, so it was just unplayable conditions.
Wow. Okay. So just it being, I guess, grass turf, and it's slowing both of these two teams down. That's the thinking.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we got 52 and a half is even a number out there if you shop around. So looking towards the under, I think you're onto something there, Minty, on the Monday nighter down in Mexico. Guys, coupon code Minty20, that's Minty20 at sportsmemo.com, takes $20 off anything on the website. So check it out, sportsmemo.com, coupon code Minty20. Follow her on Twitter at Minty Bets. That's her name with the word bets at the end of it. And Minty, anything else you want to throw out there to the watchers before we shut this down?
No, thanks for listening and thanks for continuously watching, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Best of luck with your bets. This does it for the Sports Memo podcast for the week. Thank you, Minty, for the time and the great analysis. Like always, mainstay on the NFL Every Game on the Board podcast. We'll have her on next week as well. Guys, best of luck with your bets. Have a fun, safe weekend, and we'll talk on Monday with NFL Opening Line Report with Teddy Covers.